want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This man has been on our show. How many times has Buddy Guy been here, Paul?
Oh, countless
Going
times.
back to the old show at NBC.
Back in the 80s,
and this is one thing that
show.
makes me so proud of you and the whole band and your musical intelligence and integrity that you brought to my attention years and years and years ago. I think before other people really knew and should have known all about this man, and he's been on the show many, many times, and I'm thrilled to have an association with that relationship. So thank you very much for that.
I think we're all thrilled. Thank you.
Our next guest is a legendary blues musician and a recent recipient of the Kennedy Center Honors. He is currently performing a month-long residency at the Chicago nightclub Buddy Guy's Legends. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. Buddy Guy, here we go. Buddy?
Pretty good, Dave. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for being here. And I got to tell you, it was great fun that weekend that we got to spend our families together in Washington. When you receive something like that and you kind of look back at your achievements and your career in life, what do you see? Describe your impression of your own career now.
Dave, it's hard to explain, because I don't have a high school education, and my guitar, when I taught myself how to play, you wasn't getting paid. It's just a love of music. And it so happened, when the British started playing the blues, they recognized B.B. King, Lightning Hopkins, all those old great blues players. And I happened to be in that company, like at the awards, sitting next to you and Led Zeppelin. They told me when I was a kid, see, if you don't have any money, hang around with people with money.
You know what? What I learned about you that weekend, and Paul and everybody else, of course, knows that in the world of guitar playing, blues, rock and roll, jazz, whatever, you're kind of the guy. You're the seminal source of influence. You're the influence for a multitude of generations that came after you, and they looked up to you and wanted to emulate you and how you played the guitar. Now that's really something there, isn't it?
Yes, Dave. Actually, I was more surprised because I didn't know what I was doing myself. I was just in Chess Studios playing what I had stole from some of those guys I just mentioned to you, and all of a sudden when the British came out, they said, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, say, well, you know, we was listening to you, and I'm saying, what was I doing?
But you represent the DNA then of this music.
After they told me that, I didn't know it at the time.
Now I heard this story, and I don't know if you got tired of hearing this story. I heard it about 3 or 4 times. You tell me if this is true. As a kid, in your home, with is it your grandparents?
No, my parents.
Your parents?
The grandparents, both of them was there too, though.
Yeah. You would take loose wire out of the screen window, screen door.
Yes, sir.
And with those wires, you constructed your own guitar and a box, a cigar box, I don't know.
Well, you couldn't fing it because you'd break it. All I could do was just
strum.
Do this. And I first started with a rubber band at my ear. And anything I heard that would make noise was pleasing to my ears.
And how old were you? 4 or 5 years old?
Somewhere around there, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, with the rubber bands and the screen wire.
Well, this is a lovely thing. So at that age, you knew what you wanted to do. You knew about music, and it's your whole life. That's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
And they kept saying that when the house would fill up with insects because you had ruined the screen door, that they had a conference and they said, well, maybe we better get the kid a guitar. Is that so we could go easy? Now, did that happen as well?
No, they couldn't afford a guitar, Dave.
Oh.
You know, they would go get this guy every Christmas, and he had an acoustic guitar, and they would have a gallon of wine and a case of beer at everybody's house. And it would go from house to house till everybody fall out drunk, and then I would get the guitar, his guitar, and try to figure out what they were saying.
You get to Chicago somehow, is that right? And then President Clinton told this story about you and a sandwich. What was that? You and a salami sandwich. You're in Chicago, and you're just at the end. There's nowhere else to go. It hasn't worked so far. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, sir.
What was that?
Well, they used to have the pay phones, and if you had a dime and call your phone, which I left with my mother, the dime would come back, and I tried to borrow a dime, and the guy said, "I'm not going to give you a dime. If you feed a hungry dog, he won't hunt."
Yeah.
So he wouldn't loan me the dime, and somebody called Muddy after Otis Race let me play a song by one of the late great guitar players, Guitar Slim, and I played things I used to do, and somebody says, "No way you could be hungry and can play like that," but then nobody knew who I was. And so they called Muddy, and before I left Louisiana, they said, "Be careful there, because you can get mugged." And I didn't know they called Muddy the Mud. So he came up and slapped me, and my ears was ringing, and they said, "That's the mud." I said, "Oh my God, I'm getting mugged."
But he gave you a sandwich and said, "Here, let me give you the salami sandwich. Yes. You're not going back to Louisiana." Was that what it was?
That's exactly what he said. And when I found out he was Muddy Waters, I told him, and I wasn't hungry. I said, "If you Muddy Waters, I'm full." And I meant that, you know, because that's who I went there to do, this watch them play.
What other cities were important to the birth of blues? Chicago, of course.
Well, New Orleans had some great blues players, Fats Domino, Guitar Slim.
St. Louis in there somehow?
I didn't never know much about St. Louis. I found out later on about St. Louis, and the great keyboard player played all the hits with Chuck Berry, Johnny Johnson. He was there.
So for you, is it the home of the blues is Chicago?
I think Chicago is the capital of the world for blues, because before everybody experienced the British and everybody else, the Chess Records had the best you ever seen, man. If you want me to start naming, I can name them till next year and won't be out. It's like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Sonny Boy Williams, and all those guys was there. That's what drawed me there to watch it. I didn't ever think I'd be sitting here talking to you, trying to explain something to you about that.
Well, I'm very excited to hear you playing tonight. We'll be right back. Buddy.Guy and his guitar. Thank you, Paul. Nice. Now, ladies and gentlemen, performing a song featured on his most recent CD, Live at Legends, here's the great Buddy.Guy.
Yes, I stopped by my daughter's house. Woo, Lord, I was just
my shoes. Oh, you damn right, I got the blues. People put my head down to my shoes. Well, you know I can't win, 'cause I ain't got a doggone thing to lose.
That's exactly what we're talking about. Thank you so much, gentlemen. The great Buddy.Guy, everybody.
Thank you, Dave.
Gosh, that was nice. Can we get a little more here, Paul?
Yeah, come on.
Can we get a little more? Just a little more. Buddy.Guy, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
I'm so fat.